Guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'm going to review Causeway, now streaming on Apple TV+. Causeway is the newest film from A24, and it stars Jennifer Lawrence as a soldier named Lindsay who is injured in battle in Afghanistan, and she needs to go back to her family and slowly rehab and grow from this trauma that she's experienced. She suffers a brain injury, so she's trying to fight all these huge mental illness obstacles that have been thrust upon her, and I think it's one of the best performances I've seen from her in years. She's always so good when she's in this indie space, and I think this is, like I said, one of her best performances in recent memory. Does a great job of playing a character who is feeling very isolated, feels like it's her against the world and her trying to fight back against her own personal demons. And through the movie, you're able to see a really good character arc of someone, like I said, who is struggling but slowly decides to let people in and build herself up with the help of other people around her. Brian Tyree Henry plays James in this film, who is another individual who has trauma in his past, who ends up crossing paths with Lindsay, and they're able to grow with one another. I think they have some of the best chemistry of anyone in this film, and I think their scenes in particular, those really impactful emotional moments that come between them are really some of the best parts of this film. Because at the end of the day, this movie really is about recovery and about trauma and about people dealing with some of the hardest times in their life. And I think the use of the score and the cinematography really helps grow that impact. Because the movie a lot of times focuses on these characters in their most quiet and vulnerable states, whether it's Lindsay kind of hiding away in her bedroom or in her bathtub or in the pool. There's really a huge thing with water in this film. And the score really helps build that up as well, with these kind of swells of emotion whenever there's this traumatic events or someone feels like they're at wit's end. And I think all of it comes together to create a really cohesive story about trauma and about recovery. There's also some really cool use of symbolism, not without going into too many spoilers of this movie. You do get to see Lindsay get this job as a pool cleaner. She's constantly cleaning other people's pools, and she's really, seems to be drawn to water. And then there's one scene in particular at the end of the film where she goes into a public pool, a big pool full of people, and it almost feels like her accepting being back into society, accepting help from others. She's so isolated in this movie. A lot of the movie takes place with just her or her and one other individual. And by the end, you feel like she's really grown as a person. And while it may be a little bit slower, the movie is a little bit slow, but I do think that slow build and that slow burn helps the end feel even more satisfying. You feel like you've really lived with these characters and grown with these characters. And I do think that slow nature of it does really reflect that road to recovery. So if I were to rate Causeway, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's one of the best films that has come out this year. It's a great performance from Jennifer Lawrence and everybody involved in the movie. It really does strike home for someone who has dealt with trauma and trying to grow from that, whether it be physical, emotional, mental trauma. So if you checked out Causeway, let me know what you thought about it. Leave those comments down below. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.